everyone, my name is Jimmy. I am one of the owner-operators here at Elder & Oat, and what I want to talk to you today is about natural leavening. The story of natural leavening starts with a particle, a magic that is in the air all around us. It's on your skin, it's on the table, it is on the individual grains of flour. I'm not talking about the dust of the Golden Compass or spice of Dune. It's not the weave of the Dungeons and Dragons magic users. It is not the Force, and you can be a muggle to use it. What I'm talking about is yeast. Yeast is an ancient microbial entity that is all around us, and it's what gives leavened bread its rise. So when you hear the word leavened, what that means is that there are air bubbles, pockets that are forming in that bread, and a bread that starts out this small can get up to this big. That is leavening. So yeast, you can buy yeast at the store. It can come in dry, it can come in wet. Yeast is used to make beer and spirits and all these things, but it's also used to make bread. And our yeast comes in the form of a naturally leavened starter. All this is equal parts water mixed with equal parts flour. Like I said, that yeast is already in the air, it's already on the flour. If you let that sit out in a nice warm place, it eventually is going to become active. That yeast is going to break down the carbohydrates that are what the flour is made of. That's what they like to eat. So, how does this make bread rise? So the yeast that is in here is going to go into our dough. Now here at Elder & Oat, we do not use any commercially made yeast. When you buy yeast in a packet, it is the distilled version of yeast. We are doing this the natural way. This is the way bread was made from the dawn of bread in ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia, all the way up until the Industrial Revolution when we actually discovered what yeast was. We mix flour, water, that's going to become our dough. After that sits a little bit in the water, we're going to add this starter in there. This is called a leaven at this point. This is going to get in there and it's going to react with the flour and water that's in there to make our bread rise. This is a very slow process. Our bread starts by feeding the starter, which takes about 6 to 8 hours. We then make our dough, and it has to sit for about 30 minutes to an hour before we put this in. We then keep the dough out for 4 hours, turning it, developing that gluten, which I'll explain to you in another video later. After that, it gets put in the fridge for 24 to 48 hours. So we're talking bread that takes from the start of it to the end of it about 2 days. So you may be asking yourself, what is the purpose of making bread in such a laborious way? And the answer is twofold. The first and probably most important is the wellness factor of making bread this way. When you slowly ferment a product like bread, the way bread has been made all the way up until the early 1900s, it becomes more digestible, meaning your body is able to access the nutrients that are in the flour. And we use very special flour here, which I'll explain later in another video. The other is the taste. That slow fermentation process allows the yeast to create byproducts of CO2, but also flavor compounds that you just don't get when you rapidly make bread with commercial yeast. So, if you want to order some of our naturally leavened bread, which I highly recommend you do, we need at least 24 to 48 hours advance notice, which you now understand. This little guy here, we named ours Gemini. That's the name of our starter. It takes time, and we can't rush something for you. So we want to make sure if you order this bread, that we get you the best product we can. And hopefully you understand a little bit more about the natural leavening process. If you want to know more, just come in and talk to me. I'm here a lot, as are our other bakers who can answer all your questions. Thanks for tuning in, and may the yeast be with you.